Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Fluently.
Hi everyone! We are so happy you're here with us today.
This channel helps you practice real English every day.
Please click that subscribe button and like this video.
So, Anna, how was your weekend? Did you relax?
Ugh, not really. I spent my entire Sunday cleaning.
Oh, I know that feeling. My garage was messy.
It feels like we just work for our houses.
Yeah, spending free time managing all of our stuff.
It really makes you think, do we own it?
Or does the stuff actually own us? Scary thought.
Exactly. That is why we need to talk today.
Let's talk about when it all started for us.
For me, it was definitely my clothes closet disaster.
Oh, really? What happened in there? Tell me more.
I stood there staring at hundreds of different shirts.
And you still felt like you had nothing, right?
Exactly. I felt totally overwhelmed by all those choices.
That is such a frustrating feeling to have daily.
It made my morning start with so much stress.
My breaking point was losing my keys last year.
Oh no, was the house just too messy then?
Totally. I was late for a very important meeting.
Panic mode. Where did you finally find the keys?
Buried under junk mail on the kitchen counter.
That is the worst. Just useless paper everywhere, right?
Yeah, I realized my clutter was stealing my time.
Time is the one thing we cannot buy back.
True. That moment changed how I see my home.
We keep things, but lose our peace of mind.
It feels heavy, like carrying a weight around constantly.
I just wanted to feel lighter in my space.
Did you start throwing things away immediately that day?
Yes, I grabbed 3 big bags and started filling.
Wow, that must have felt so good and freeing.
It was scary at first, but then very liberating.
What was the hardest thing for you to toss?
Probably clothes I spent good money on years ago.
Ah, the guilt of spending money keeps them there.
Keeping them does not bring that money back.
That is such a powerful realization for everyone here.
We punish ourselves by looking at those bad purchases.
So decluttering is actually about forgiving ourselves for mistakes.
I never thought about it that way before.
It makes sense, though. We hold on to past errors.
And clearing the space clears that guilt away too.
Precisely. My kitchen counter is finally clear and clean.
Being able to find things easily is a luxury.
It saves so much mental energy during the day.
We don't realize how much clutter drains us.
It's like a constant background noise in life.
Yes, visual noise is a very real problem today.
So that weekend was the start of your journey?
It was. I never want to go back again.
Same here. Life is just better with less stuff.
But it's not always easy to let go.
No, especially when emotions get involved with the items.
That's the next big hurdle we face, right?
Definitely. Logic says throw it, but the heart refuses.
Like old letters or gifts from people we love.
Or things that remind us of who we were.
That emotional attachment is really tough to break through.
We attach our identity to these physical objects sometimes.
But we're not our things, are we, Adam?
No, we're definitely not. We're much more.
I had to learn that lesson the hard way.
It takes time to detach feelings from objects.
Do you still struggle with sentimental items right now?
Sometimes, especially with things from my childhood days.
It helps to take a photo of the item.
That's a great tip. Keep the memory only.
Exactly. The object goes, but the memory stays safe.
We should dive deeper into this emotional side next.
Yes, because that's where most people get stuck.
It's the biggest trap in the whole process.
Let's explore that sentimental trap a bit more.
So why do we keep things we never use?
Usually it is because of that just-in-case fear.
Oh yeah, keeping a box for a phantom future.
Like keeping cables for electronics we do not own.
I had a drawer full of random useless cords.
We think, what if I need this one day?
But that day almost never actually comes, does it?
No, it just takes up space in our heads.
What about gifts? That's a huge guilt trap.
Oh, throwing away a gift feels like a betrayal.
Even if it's ugly and we hate it?
Yeah, because we worry about hurting the giver's feelings.
But the gift served its purpose when given, right?
That is true. The joy was in the receiving.
Keeping it out of guilt actually ruins that memory.
Wow, I never looked at it from that angle.
It becomes a burden instead of a happy token.
I have this vase my aunt gave me years ago.
And let me guess, you absolutely hate that vase.
Yes, it is so bulky and very ugly.
Does your aunt even remember giving it to you?
Probably not. She hasn't seen it in years.
Then you're keeping it for a ghost reason.
You're right. It's time to let go.
Then there are the things from our own past.
Like old school trophies or maybe sentimental childhood toys.
I kept my old college textbooks for a decade.
Did you ever open them even one single time?
Never. I thought they made me look smart, though.
We hold on to the person we used to be.
We must make room for who we are now.
That's deep. The past blocks the present moment.
Memories are not inside the physical object, Anna.
I know, but the object triggers that specific memory.
True, but do you need 20 items for that?
Maybe just one or two special ones is enough.
Exactly. Curate your memories like a small museum display.
If everything is special, then nothing is truly special.
That's the best rule for sentimental items ever.
It makes you choose what really matters to you.
I scanned all my old photos to my computer.
And you tossed the physical copies after doing that?
Most of them. Now I can actually see them. Before, they were just sitting in a dark box.
Exactly. Digital clutter is a whole other topic, though.
We'll get to that later. Back to boxes. Have you heard of the burning house question?
No. What would you grab if the house burned?
Yes. Besides people and pets, what would you take?
Probably my laptop and maybe my grandmother's ring.
See, the list is actually very short and simple.
Everything else is just stuff we can replace easily.
Realizing that brings a huge sense of relief, really.
It stops the items from having power over us.
We're afraid of forgetting, so we hoard things.
Trust your memory a little bit more from now.
Or write it down. Keep a journal, not junk.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Adam.
Letting go is a muscle we have to build.
It gets easier every time we say goodbye, right?
For sure. And the result is a peaceful home.
Speaking of home, does your space affect your mood?
Oh, totally. A messy room means a messy mind.
Let's talk about that mental connection in a bit.
We mentioned how our home affects our mood.
Yes, it is impossible to relax in chaos.
When my desk is messy, I cannot focus.
Your brain is constantly processing all that visual noise.
Exactly. It's like having 20 browser tabs open.
That is the perfect description of a cluttered room.
I used to feel anxious just walking inside.
Your home should be your sanctuary, not a stressor.
But piles of laundry scream, "You are lazy," daily.
Yes, the clutter actually talks to us silently,
It creates a constant to-do list in our heads.
which leads to mental fatigue before the day starts.
So, cleaning the space actually clears the mind too?
Absolutely. There's a direct link between them.
I sleep much better when the room is tidy.
Visual calmness lets your brain finally switch off completely.
Have you felt that lightness after a big purge?
Oh yeah, it feels like I can breathe again.
It's almost a physical sensation of weightlifting.
We underestimate how much space affects our mental health.
Minimalism is not just about having less stuff, really.
No, it's about making room for what matters.
Like hobbies, rest, or just sitting in peace.
Instead of spending hours moving piles of junk around.
I read that cortisol levels spike in messy homes.
That explains why I used to feel so cranky.
And now, how does your living room feel today?
It's peaceful. I actually enjoy sitting there now.
That's the goal, a space that serves you.
Not a space that demands your constant attention.
Do you think this affects creativity and work too?
Definitely. A clear table invites you to create, work,
A messy table just invites you to clean it.
or to run away and watch TV instead.
Procrastination loves a cluttered environment, doesn't it?
It gives us an excuse to not start working.
So, minimalism is actually a productivity hack as well.
I get so much more done in less time.
Because you're not hunting for lost items anymore.
and my eyes are not distracted by random objects.
It's amazing how we adapt to the mess.
We become clutter blind after a while, I think.
Until a guest comes over, then we panic.
That panic proves we know it's too much.
Living with less removes that social anxiety entirely.
My door is always open for friends now.
That must feel so freeing and welcoming for them.
It is. The focus is on conversation, not cleaning.
We're stripping away the distractions from our lives.
To find the calm center underneath all the chaos.
It's a form of self-care in a way.
The best kind of self-care is a peaceful home.
But clutter is not just physical, is it?
No, it hides in our phones and computers too.
Oh, digital clutter. That's a silent killer.
Thousands of unread emails and blurry photos everywhere.
That stresses me out just thinking about it.
It follows us everywhere we go in our pockets.
We curate our home but neglect our digital space.
And also our social obligations and time commitments.
True, we say yes to too many things.
We need to apply minimalism to our schedules too.
That's a perfect transition to our next topic.
Let's discuss cleaning up our digital and social lives.
We check our phones 100 times daily.
And every time we get bombarded with information.
It is like a noisy room in our pockets.
I had 20 apps I never even opened.
Digital hoarding is real and invisible to others.
My email inbox used to give me anxiety.
Thousands of unread newsletters selling us more junk.
I finally unsubscribed from almost everything last week.
That must feel so quiet and peaceful now.
I only see emails that actually matter today.
What about social media? That is a trap.
Scrolling endlessly through other people's perfect lives.
It makes us feel inadequate and want more.
I unfollowed accounts that made me feel bad.
Curating your feed is like cleaning your house.
Yes, my feed inspires me instead of draining me.
We need to protect our attention span carefully.
Notifications are the worst enemy of deep focus.
I turned off all non-essential alerts on my phone.
I check my phone. It doesn't summon me.
But minimalism applies to our friends list too.
Oh, social decluttering is harder than throwing clothes.
We hold on to toxic relationships out of habit.
Or we attend events we really dread attending.
Learning to say no is a superpower.
No creates space for the yes that matters.
We act like our time is infinite resource.
But time is our most limited asset, actually.
Spending time with people who drain your energy?
That is just emotional clutter we must remove.
I stopped going to Friday drinks with coworkers.
Did you feel bad about missing it initially?
A little, but I gained my evenings back.
Quality over quantity applies to friendships as well.
I prefer 3 close friends to 30 acquaintances.
It allows deeper connection and less social fatigue.
We're simplifying our obligations to find freedom.
JOMO is my new favorite thing right now.
JOMO? You mean the joy of missing out?
Exactly. Being happy doing my own thing alone.
It's the opposite of FOMO, anxiety, right?
Yes, I do not need to be everywhere.
That relieves so much pressure to perform socially.
So, clean phone, clean calendar, clean mind.
It all connects back to intentional living again.
We choose where our energy goes every day.
Instead of letting the world choose for us.
But how do we stop the clutter returning?
Especially when shopping is so easy these days.
One click and a package arrives tomorrow morning.
We need to change how we buy things.
Consumption is a habit we have to break.
I used to buy things just for fun.
Retail therapy gives a very short dopamine hit.
Then the item just sits there gathering dust.
And we're back to square one again.
So we need a new strategy for shopping.
Quality over quantity is the golden rule here.
Buying once and buying well is much better.
It saves money in the long run, too.
And it keeps our homes from filling up.
we should talk about being an intentional buyer.
How do we resist the urge to splurge?
Let's dive into mindful spending in the next part.
So, how do we stop buying useless stuff?
I adhere to the 24-hour waiting rule.
You wait a full day before clicking buy.
Yes, usually the urge disappears by the morning.
That stops impulsive emotional spending right in its tracks.
Exactly. I ask, do I really need this?
Or is it just because it's on sale?
Sales are the biggest trap for aspiring minimalists.
Saving money on something unnecessary is not saving.
It is still spending money you kept safe.
My mindset shifted to quality over quantity recently.
Same. I buy one good coat, not 3.
It lasts longer and it looks much better.
And you treat it with way more respect.
Cheap items feel disposable, so we trash them.
Fast fashion is a nightmare for home clutter.
I try to invest in experiences now instead.
Like a nice dinner or weekend trip?
Exactly. Memories do not take up physical space.
And the joy lasts longer than a gadget.
Do you use the one in, one out rule?
Religiously. If I buy shoes, old ones leave.
That keeps the total inventory steady and manageable.
It forces you to really consider the purchase.
Is this new item better than the old?
If not, it does not enter my house.
You sound like a bouncer for your home.
I am. I protect my peaceful space.
What about gifts for others? That's tricky.
I give consumables now. Food, candles, or tickets.
Things that get used up and disappear entirely.
People appreciate not having more clutter to store.
We're training our friends to be minimalists.
Or at least respecting our desire for less.
It's about valuing the function, not ownership.
Do we really need to own a drill?
Or can we just borrow it from neighbors?
Sharing economy is a big part of this,
Owning less means less maintenance and less repair.
which saves us money and time once again.
I notice I care less about brand names.
Impressing others becomes very unimportant in this lifestyle.
We buy for ourselves, not for an audience.
That's true freedom, detaching worth from possessions.
But does this mean we never buy fun stuff?
No, I just bought a beautiful painting actually.
But you love it and it brings joy.
It's not clutter if it's truly loved.
That's a key distinction we must make.
Minimalism is not about deprivation or empty rooms.
It's about intentionality. Why is this here?
Every item must earn its place on the shelf.
My wallet is definitely happier with this approach.
And the environment thanks us for consuming less.
It feels like a responsible way to live.
But we must be careful not to obsess.
You mean worrying too much about being perfect?
Yeah, minimalism can become a stressful obsession too.
Counting items or judging others who have more?
That defeats the whole purpose of finding peace.
Life is messy sometimes, and that's okay.
We're not robots living in white boxes.
Let's talk about the reality of imperfection next.
The myth of the perfect minimalist life awaits.
We see these perfect white rooms on Instagram.
And we think we are failing at minimalism.
Because I have a coffee cup on my table.
Real life is not a curated photo shoot.
Exactly. We have hobbies, kids, and real messes.
Minimalism does not mean living with 0 things.
Some people count their items like owning 50.
That sounds like a prison, not freedom, honestly.
It becomes a competition of who has less.
That misses the point of why we started.
My kitchen gets messy when I cook dinner.
That means you are actually using your kitchen,
A home is meant to be lived in.
not just looked at like a museum exhibit.
The goal is easy cleanup, not permanent perfection.
Yes, resetting the room takes 5 minutes now.
Before, it took hours to clean the mess.
That is the real victory, not the emptiness.
Sometimes my desk is covered in papers working.
That is creative flow, not clutter in that moment.
Also, our needs change as we get older.
A family needs more stuff than a single person.
You cannot compare your home to a bachelor's.
We have to adapt minimalism to our reality.
Being flexible is key to sticking with it.
If it feels like punishment, you will quit.
I bought a treadmill recently, a big item.
But you use it for your health daily?
Every morning, so it adds value to me.
Then it is a minimalist purchase, in my opinion.
Some people think you declutter once and finish.
Haha, I wish it worked like that forever.
Stuff creeps back in, no matter how careful.
It's a constant cycle of editing life.
Like weeding a garden, you must maintain it.
But the maintenance gets easier over the years.
I do a mini purge every single season now.
It stops the piles from becoming overwhelming mountains.
Do you ever regret throwing something away, though?
Honestly, maybe one small cable in 5 years.
And you survived without it, didn't you, Anna?
I bought a replacement for $5 online.
The fear of regret is worse than reality.
We scare ourselves into keeping useless junk forever.
It's okay to make mistakes while learning.
Sometimes I buy something stupid and donate it.
That doesn't make you a bad minimalist.
It just makes me human, I suppose.
We need to be kind to ourselves here.
Guilt is heavy clutter we do not need.
The mindset matters more than the item count.
Are you happy with what you own today?
That's the only question that really counts.
Not, does this look like a magazine cover?
My living room is messy right this second.
But you're calm, and that's success.
Exactly. The chaos doesn't control my mood.
You control the environment, not the other way.
It's a tool for a better life.
Not a strict religion we have to follow.
We've covered so much ground today, Anna.
From messy closets to finding mental peace finally.
It's time to wrap this all up.
Let's give them something practical to start today.
We have talked a lot about stuff today.
Let's leave our listeners with a small challenge.
What is one thing they can do today?
Go find just one item to give away.
Just one thing? That sounds easy enough to do.
It starts the momentum. Trust me, it really works.
I might finally clean my car console later.
Do it. You will feel lighter immediately, Adam.
If you enjoyed this conversation, please let us know.
Hit that like button to show some support.
And subscribe if you want more real talks here.
We have plenty more topics coming up for you.
Thanks for listening today. Live simply, my friends.
See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.